After so much gaming and writing and playing the piano, the diagnosis was wrist tendonitis. It got so bad that you had to rely on dragon naturally speaking in order to get the words out. And the interesting thing was you could hold the microphone up to the outside world all around you and be able to pick up this secret language. Sometimes the fire would crawl all the way up your shoulders and get to the point where you couldn't hold up a book anymore, and you just hoped that this dude would not write another huge-ass novel. But when you could read, it was always stuff about the cold, like this landscape that was icy and menacing, so that you can continue your chase this fragile young girl who seems like an albino. She's known as the Glass Girl and is like a stand-in for Anna Kavan herself. The narrator is constantly getting cock-blocked by this huge husband figure, also known as the Warden, who could represent the drugs or depression that Kavan had suffered from. I found the power of this book to be in how it had this hallucinatory shifting going on these flights where the girl is sacrificed to a dragon in a forest, or the narrator who talks to these lemurs that become aliens that talk about the end of the world and how he can be saved. Maybe it could be her own creativity that the author was trying to chase so that she could make a story out of it, but it just kept running away. You kind of had to fill in the book with different symbols like this because the constant destabilizing just could get kind of pointless. Whenever I feel like a text is manipulating me too much, kind of like the Warden over the girl, I feel like I need to manipulate it back. Take all the words that have to do with this cold and icy landscape and flip them around to where it's all hot and burning and fire and darkness. And to make it less tired feeling, we'll take all the gender pronouns and switch them around. And so that the shady male characters are now transformed into these females that are like these witches everywhere. It becomes like this vision of hell. And finally, we'll flip the first person into second. And reskin like this, you get double the value out of your purchase, and it's even more terrifying because it's a strangely familiar story, yet everything now is just transformed into smoke and ash, and you got columns of fire and molten rock. Those eyes that were once staring out of this delicate white girl, now bugging out of this stony black boy that's just full of fever and hot to the touch, and he's being kept in check by this female, this towering sadistic mother/wife who's just torturing him to where he's beyond a slave. He's like this basket case of helplessness. And I started to get even more meaning out of this book, where you see the fire and smoke frustrating this boy's skin, and you want to save him, but he just wants to get away, and it's almost like he's unaware or he doesn't care. He'd rather just hide because that's his way of saving himself, and if you try to help, he'll self-harm. Maybe he's only just acting the victim when you're around, and it could be the case that you're the cause of the suffering. You're the smoke and the ash. It's your own selfishness that's turned you into that monster, the Warden, just hating your own inner youthful spirit that arrested development. You're still protecting them from the outside world by holding up these shields of language because you can't face reality. It's this perpetual chase that the only resolution is the death of one or both of you. No. Maybe the solution then is just to pretend that you're a stranger to yourself, like this monkey behind bars that you just glance at before jumping off into the darkness below, which is more nourishing.